going on, everybody? Hope you are enjoying your day. I wanted to bring you some alpha on the latest cryptos that I think you can take advantage of to make some money, especially now that the bull market has started. This is going to be a fun one. We're going to be diving into Solana today. Now, if you can take a look here on my screen, I want to start with why I believe Solana is literally the crypto of the future. And this is because BitBoy has started talking about it and has crowned himself the Sultan of Solana. And I'm sure all of you that are into Sol are so excited about this. Just kidding. This guy, Ben Armstrong, man, but he's got a track record of making bold predictions that don't always turn out to be accurate. This is something that I've experienced on the first hand because when I first started following him back in 2020, jumped off a cliff with one of his calls, and that was the last time that I did that. Now, despite that, there is actually a very reputable investment company out there by the name of VanEck, and these guys definitely know a lot about crypto. They've made some very bold predictions before in the past that have come true. VanEck at this present moment is saying that Solana price could surge over 10,000% by 2030. Now that's a very, very, very bold prediction. That's only in 7 years though. But patience is rewarded to those who are in good projects in crypto. And I could definitely see Solana getting up to that. Why? Well, Solana is definitely one of the faster networks out there. I personally have used it in DeFi, and I'm going to show you today exactly how I would be getting into Solana, how I would be investing my money in Solana to make not just money speculating on it, but accumulating more of Solana. Before we do that, if you wouldn't mind smashing the like button, hitting that subscribe button as well, and be sure to hit that notification button so that way you don't miss any of my alpha coming up. I would really, really, really appreciate it. And now I'm going to actually give you some alpha, not a cute picture of like a baby seal or something like that. I do believe that Solana is one of the better cryptocurrencies out there when it comes to speed. And depending on where you read, Solana can actually process anywhere between 5,000 and they say up to 65,000 transactions per second. I've been wowed by Solana before in the past with how fast it is. The problem with Solana has always been that because it is somewhat centralized, there have been some DDoS attacks or DDO attacks, whatever those attacks are called, where they have actually been able to slow down or even in some cases stop the Solana network. And that to me was not a good thing because I want my transactions to always go through, even if it means having it being a little bit slower like on the Ethereum network. And right now, to be quite honest with you, there are so many EVM compatible blockchains such as Arbitrum and Optimism and Matic that are so fast that Solana, I still think it's in the running for this. But these ones, I haven't had any downtime with them. Now, some of you may have experienced some downtime with them if you are in DeFi. But me personally, I haven't really experienced any downtime. I did experience some like a bad connection with Optimism one time, but the actual blockchain was up and running. Okay, so let's take a look at the price of Solana because I think that this is really, really important because when I invest in a crypto, I want to actually make sure that it is a good time to buy, and also what's the upside potential for me. And we can see here that the price of Solana is currently $32. And if you take a look here, Solana has already been up here to $257 during its all-time highs. Now let's take a look at what Solana did from kind of this beginning of the chart. Let's say from the bottom here, December of 2020, all the way to the top. you're looking at basically an 160x or 16,000% gain, which is phenomenal. Now, of course, when all of this FTX stuff happened, we saw Solana just absolutely take a nosedive down to all the way down to here to $8.30. And if you would have been paying attention, you could have capitalized on this gain. Now, I wasn't paying attention, so I'm not telling you you should have been paying attention. But if you were, you would have caught this. And some of my students actually did catch this dip because they really liked Solana. They liked the fact that Solana was or is a very fast network. A lot of NFTs have been minted on Solana. A lot of good things happening on Solana. So they have a lot of really great decentralized exchanges. But let's say what would happen if we were to end up getting a rise in Solana, like VanEck is saying, all the way up to $3,000. What would that look like? So if we take a look, here's a very simple way to do the math. So we're going to divide $3,000 into $32. What does that look like? A 93x, okay, 93x. So that's a pretty darn good return. That means a 9,300% return on Solana. Now, is this possible? Yeah, I mean, VanEck is saying that this could happen in 7 years. That's a pretty long time. And if Solana actually catches over the next 7 years, which there is a lot of developer activity on it. I think it's like the second or third most developed blockchain behind Ethereum. And if this does catch and there is a lot of developer activity on here, and it could mix with Ethereum, because I think the future of blockchain is going to be a multitude of cryptos, then I think that we could really see price action like this. So imagine if we had a 93x. If we were to put $5,000 into Solana and times that by 93, how much would we be looking at? That would be about $465,000. Now, that's if you just held it. You bought and you held Solana. Now, what would happen if we actually started accumulating more Solana? So let's head over here to Radium. Radium is a decentralized exchange where you can actually buy and sell cryptos without having to give up custody of your cryptos. And this is something that a lot of Solana investors don't know even exists, okay? And I want you to really understand that this is where the money is being made. Now, how is it being made? Well, it's by you and me essentially being able to provide liquidity, provide our cryptos so that other people can use them to trade peer-to-peer. Now, if I'm the one that provides the crypto, the good news is I get paid fees every time somebody makes a swap. Now, let's take a look at some of these cryptos here because they're some really, really juicy things. Now, you have to take into consideration, like you see this one right here, Bonk KZN. This is probably a bullshit fee that's never going to last. So don't think that you're going to get super rich off of Bonk and KZN. You may, but chances are you're not going to. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to take a look at some of the cryptos that I'm buying and selling. And one of those is Atlas. And Star Atlas is actually a video game. I own some of these NFTs and it runs on the Solana network. Now let's go ahead and come back here and let's take a look at how much we potentially could earn here with Sol and Atlas, which are two cryptocurrencies that I do believe could go up in this next bull run. As you can see here, I've now entered this pool and started setting up what are called ranges. Now, what are ranges? I'm actually going to draw this out for you right now because I think people need to understand how ranges work in what is called concentrated liquidity. Okay, so this is a drawing that I did in regards to how concentrated liquidity works. So before, when we had what are called liquidity pools, we used to have to set up the full range, meaning like I would put my money in this pair, Solana and USDC, and I would earn money whether or not the price of Solana was 0 or 248. Not if it was 0, but anywhere, from let's say $1 to $248, okay? And the thing about that though is that if I made this money during that full range, so did everybody else. So it was a very diluted pot of money every time somebody would make fees off of these trades that were occurring in this pair of Solana and USDC. Now, as opposed to taking the entire spectrum of the range from 0 to 248, what concentrated liquidity does is it offers us the ability to only put our Solana and USDC to work within a range, within a defined price point of Solana versus USD. So let's say, for instance, I were to provide liquidity for Solana and I wanted to earn fees of Solana from anywhere between $30 to $40. Well, here's the thing. If Solana went above $40, then I would no longer be earning fees. And same rule applies if Solana goes lower than $30, then I would again no longer be earning fees. And I do suffer something called impermanent loss, which we will not talk in this video. I'll talk about it a little bit later. But this is what's called concentrated liquidity. Now, when we have concentrated liquidity, the difference between up here and down here is that I'm only making fees within this defined range. And there is a very small pool of people that are also making fees here, as opposed to, let's say, there may be people trading a much higher range. So let's say somebody went $20 to $50 range. Well, they're going to earn way less of the pie than me if I'm concentrating it more than that. And if somebody decides to do the whole range, well, that person is only going to be receiving a fraction of the fees. So the idea here is we get to basically somewhat speculate on what the price of Solana will be and use concentrated liquidity to earn massive amounts of fees. Now, how does that translate for us in terms of higher APR? I'm about to show you that right now. Okay, so here's how we do it. So this is basically the full range, okay? If I were to come here and hit this 50-50, this is the full range. Now, if you take a look here, the estimated APR is not bad. And here you have very little risk, in my opinion, of suffering what's called impermanent loss. Again, we'll cover that at a later date. But this is basically trading the full spectrum of the price of Solana. Okay, so now Solana and Atlas. So these are two, probably somewhat correlated assets. So let's take a look here. If we come and we concentrate this liquidity much closer to where these cryptos are actually trading, well, you can take a look at our estimated APR. It's gone up by almost double. Okay, so we've got 41% where we can actually make some decent money here. Now, here's the caveat. Once the bull market comes into full swing, once more people start learning about this and Star Atlas and they want to buy this crypto more often, that's when we're going to make more money. Okay, and this is a key thing for you to understand, because when there is more trading action going on, that's when we start to see higher APRs. Why is that? Well, more trading action, more fees. And more fees means more money for the people who provide liquidity. I've seen this particular pair in the $300 or $400 range back in 2023 when they first started doing concentrated liquidity. And even before concentrated liquidity, I saw it in the several hundreds of percentage using just the regular old-fashioned liquidity. So I can't imagine what's going to happen once we do have more concentrated liquidity pools, and we do have more volume. The last thing I want to talk about with Solana that I think is going to be a key thing is Star Atlas. Again, I do believe that this is going to be a really, really cool game. I own some NFTs that are some like ships and stuff. You can own ships, you can own star bases, you can own different characters, different skins. It's a really, really cool game. I'm going to actually dive into this, not today, but I'm going to dive in to see if I can play this. I'm assuming this is like a beta, but I'm going to jump in and see if I can do a video for you all and see if we can make some money off this, because I would love, love, love to make some money. I think this one is built on Real Engine 5, and the graphics are just killer. Anyways, guys, again, like, subscribe, hit that notification button. If you are interested in learning how you can make money in this market using decentralized finance, if you're interested in learning DeFi, head down to the caption of this video. We do have two options that you can go into. You can either go and watch a video on our website to learn a little bit more about how we make money in DeFi. Or if you're just interested from what you learned today, you can book a call directly from that caption down there. There's a link for the two. Either way, I would really appreciate it if you showed up to the next one, because I want you to become your own bank. I want to show you all the exciting stuff happening in DeFi. See you on the next one. Cheers.